Welcome back to the Day in History show for May 15th, 2020. Today we're going to cover another three different events that took place on this day throughout history, and of course we'll end on a musical note. So, how many of you are going to go out and get your hair cut today? How many of you are going to go out to eat tonight? You know that today, and all across Iowa, barbershops, salons, restaurants at half capacity with 6 foot distancing are opening today. So how many of you are going to get out of the house and get past this extremely long winter break? No, COVID break. So, on with the show. Our first story today is kind of a sad story. On May 15th in the year 392, the Emperor of Rome, Valentinius II, was murdered. Valentinian was born to Emperor Valentinian I and his second wife, Justinia. On November 22nd, 375 days after his father died, Valentinian, at the age of 4 years old, was proclaimed emperor in the modern city Budapest. Our second story today is a story about a long, hard fight. On May 15th, 1869, Susan B. Anthony and Elizabeth Cady Stanton formed the National Women's Suffrage Association in New York City. Now, you might want to know what women's suffrage is. Women's suffrage is the right of women to vote. All right? This suffrage movement would take 50 years to come to full suffrage or full voting rights for women, where on June 4th, 1919, 50 years later, Congress finally passed the 19th Amendment. It wasn't ratified by the states until August 18th of 1920, when women were finally given the full right to vote. Right now, we're going to watch just a snippet of a film about the women's suffrage movement in the early 20th century.
You asked me to explain myself. It should be very clear. Want to be two girls on a corner soapbox, or do you want to go to Washington and play with the big lads?
Paul and who?
Paul.
Alice Paul. She thinks Congress is going to suddenly roll over and give women the vote. I thought you said she was bright.
If I send you to Washington, I want your assurance that there will be no hooligan tactics.
You have it. The new suffragist is single, young, independent, educated, and very beautiful. She's you. On a horse. A cowgirl. A warrior. If you don't want him, I'll take him.
Would you be talking to me if I didn't work for the Washington Post?
No. My whole heart's in this fight. There's nothing to spare, not if I mean to win. You underestimate your heart.
People saw you.
It has nothing to do with you.
Emily, I'm a Democratic senator. You're my wife. It's got everything to do with me.
We can't pick a wartime president.
The war changes everything.
If we push Wilson now, there's going to be consequences for everyone.
You're under arrest.
All of you. I continue to fight for political liberty of American women.
We ask justice. We ask equality. Guaranteed. Forever. Forever.
You don't do anything to hurt that girl!
What is there to explain? I won't give anything away until we have it all.
So how many of you think that the right to vote is worth, frankly, sometimes dying for, fighting for, marching for, starving for, being arrested for? You know, so many people, it's amazing to me, don't utilize their right to vote, but so many people have died trying to earn that right to vote. Think about that as we go on to our next story, which is a rather explosive story, where on May 15th, 2006, Indonesia's Mount Merapi erupted violently sending searing gas clouds and burning rocks down as it scorched flanks and threatened villagers who refused to leave because of ancient mystical beliefs. We're going to watch some video from 2006 on Mount Merapi and that eruption. Well, that was a rather explosive story, wasn't it? So, that is our third and final story of the day for May 15th, 2020. Now, like I always say, please stay in touch with your education, your teachers, your Google Classrooms, and join those Google Meets during your teacher's office hours. But also, hey, some of you might need to get a haircut. I know I do. Some of you might decide this weekend, with things being open, to go to a restaurant and 6 feet apart from people and eat inside rather than take out and to go. Our musical tribute today goes to Frank L. Baum, who was born on May 15, 1856 in Chattanooga, New York. Frank L. Baum wrote The Wizard of Oz. So, as I say goodbye, we're off to see the wizard. See you tomorrow, or actually on Monday.
You're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. You'll find he is a wizard of Oz, if ever a wiz there was. If ever a wiz there was, the Wizard of Oz is one because of the wonderful things he does. You're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz.
To Oz?
To Oz!
We're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. We hear he is a whiz of a whiz, if ever a whiz there was. If ever a whiz there was, the Wizard of Oz is one because of the wonderful things he does. We're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz.
To Oz? To Oz!
We're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. Here he is, a whiz of a whiz, if ever a whiz there was. If ever a whiz there was, the Wizard of Oz is one because of the wonderful things he does.